It is now my pleasure to recognize the ranking member of this subcommittee, the gentlewoman from the great state of Florida, Ms. Cammack, for an opening statement.
Well, thank you to my fellow Floridian and Chairwoman Val Demings. It's a very exciting time for us to be hosting our very first subcommittee hearing. And I think this is historic that we have two Floridian women that are spearheading this subcommittee. So I look very much forward to working with you. As we all know, this year marks the 20th anniversary of September 11th, the worst terrorist attack on American soil. As our nation watched the events of that date unfold, we saw firsthand the countless emergency responders who rushed towards the danger without a second thought, risking their lives, and sadly, many made the ultimate sacrifice to save the lives of others. That tragic day in 2001 highlighted the invaluable role that first responders play in communities all across of America. From responding to major terrorist attacks and detection of weapons of mass destruction to security screening operations and fire suppression activities, we rely on our first responders to keep us safe each and every day. FEMA's preparedness grants provide state, local, tribal, and territorial governments the ability to build, sustain, and improve capabilities necessary to prepare for and protect against, respond to, recover from, and mitigate hazards at the local level. Preparedness grant dollars enable the funding of necessary training, exercises, information sharing initiatives, community awareness campaigns, and the purchasing of vital equipment, among other items. In my home state of Florida, Urban Area Security Initiative grants funded a boat for the Tampa Police Department to regularly conduct patrols within the Port of Tampa Bay to increase port security and deter criminal and terrorist activity. I have myself witnessed this equipment in action, and it is truly a necessity to keep our communities safe. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement conducted a grant-funded statewide cyber training for IT security managers and high-tech crime investigators to help determine the effectiveness of their information security defenses. And in 2019, State Homeland Security Grant Program funds were spent to purchase anti-vehicle barriers as a pilot project for Florida's Northeast Regional Domestic Security Task Force. Port Security Grant Programs funds were utilized by Florida law enforcement to attend the Maritime Tactical Operations Training Program at the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center, also known as FLETC, where they learned tactical boarding procedures, tactical water survival, and vessel clearing and shooting from an unstable platform. In a state like Florida with 14 deep water ports, it's critical that this training is readily available for all of our first responders. And bringing it a little bit closer to home, my husband, Matt, is a firefighter, paramedic, and SWAT medic, and the Assistance to Firefighter Grants, AFG, has provided financial assistance directly to eligible firefighter departments, such as his, emergency medical service, EMS organizations, and state fire training academies for critical training and equipment. The AFG program enhances response capabilities to more effectively protect the health and safety of our first responders and the public with respect to fire and fire-related hazards. The importance of these grant programs cannot be understated. However, as the threat environment changes, it is important that these grant systems evolve and adapt to emerging challenges and become more responsive to the needs of first responders and our local communities. It has come to my attention through daily interactions with first responders in my district that grant monies are oftentimes not allowed to fund essential equipment necessary to keep our local first responders safe. As new technology becomes available, it is important that allowable uses of these funds remain flexible to best serve these everyday heroes. Furthermore, I think it is important that these grant programs and applying to receive funds is more accessible and quote unquote user-friendly for smaller and more rural emergency responder departments. The threats that our communities face is widespread, and not everyone has available resources to staff solely dedicated to staff the dedicated process of the grant application process. We must ensure that all of our first responders have the tools they need to get the job done and to keep us safe. Preparedness grants that support our states, urban areas, ports, transit systems, fire services, and nonprofits are crucial to maintaining capabilities, providing training, and purchasing equipment for the overall protection of our communities and way of life. I am proud to support these programs that strengthen our nation's overall emergency preparedness posture. thank you very much to my colleague, Chairwoman Demings, for holding this important hearing today. And I very much look forward to hearing from our witnesses on the necessity of these grant programs and how we can better support these initiatives. We need to continue to enhance the critical safety and security initiatives to keep our communities safe. So I look forward to the recommendations to improve the grants going forward. And thank you to all our witnesses again for your testimony here today. And with that, I yield back.